Thanks for joining us. I'm Gabe with Backwoods Pursuit. Today we're going to do an Enlightened Equipment quilt review, and this is the Enlightened Equipment Enigma quilt. This is the custom Enigma by Enlightened Equipment, and we're going to go over its features, some of the things that I customized about it, as well as a specific strap system that's a little bit different than what comes with the quilt that I put together, as far as what I found to be the most useful with these Enlightened Equipment quilts. So come along as we do that. I'm going to go over the specs and whatnot, how to set this thing up, how to use it, and what I found to be one of the best ultralight quilts out on the market as far as in the down quilt arena. If you like our content, we really do appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for us. Follow us on our Facebook and Instagram accounts, and check out our website, backwoodsPursuit.com. Go subscribe over there for other gear reviews. We're going to be putting together written reviews on this, as well as a bunch of other quilts and sleeping bags we've been testing and putting reviews together on, so go subscribe over there as well. And I'm going to be putting together a spreadsheet of all of the quilts and sleeping bags that we've tested with the materials side by side, so you can see for yourself the differences in the feel, the materials, the weights, all those sorts of things. So go become a Backwoods Pursuit member, totally free. Go do that and you'll be able to download those spreadsheets for your own use. Let's go get started. Alright, so to start off, let's go over a couple of the specifications and the customizations that I made with this quilt. So the Enigma quilts do come, you can buy them just off the shelf, and I think they start at around $2.90 for the ones that are not customized, just the ones that are ready to be shipped there. Now, as far as the ones that are customized like this, what I did is my goal here was to build the lightest weight Enigma that I possibly could for my purposes, and so I went with the 7D external and in liner material for this specific quilt. And I also went with the 950 fill down. And I went with the regular length and the wide width. Now, I like the wide width personally because I like to have the flexibility to, of course, open it up like you can with any quilt, but also if the temps do drop, I like to be able to seal that all the way around me and just clip that underneath like a sleeping bag if the need arises to do something like that. So that was the way that I went ahead and customized this. And then I also added, you can see here, I added a draft collar. The weight penalty was less than an ounce, so I went ahead and added that because I do prefer to have a draft collar, but that's certainly not a necessity. Now, as far as the weight on this Enigma, I went with the 30-degree model, and of course with all the customizations I just went over, this comes in at 17.25 ounces for the regular wide long model. A couple ounces less than if you were to go with one just off the shelf, so that's why I decided to go this route. Of course, it is more expensive if you do the customizations for these specific quilts. So now let's look at some of the features of this, how to clip this on the pad in the way that I found that best works for me when I'm using the pad straps. Alright, now going over a couple of the features here on this Enigma quilt. As you can tell, this thing has a ton of loft, especially for a 30-degree bag. The 950 fill just really is awesome as far as compared to some others that I've used with this in this 30-degree model. It's really impressive with the amount of loft that this thing has. Of course, you've got the draft collar here that I added, and a really simple and easy to use push button system here, just to go ahead and cinch that down around your neck, and then one push of the button opens right back up. Really nice to have that, especially in the middle of the night, or if it's dark whatnot, you can't see that. It makes it really easy to use. Enlightened Equipment also gives you a 2-button closure system at the top, there and there, and that is really super useful because, let me show you why here. When you have just one here at the top, it's real easy for that to rotate open like that and cause a draft area for you. When you've got that second button like that, and then that puts that second area of closure a lot closer to that first strap, and really makes that, gives you the ability to seal out drafts up by your shoulder, where sometimes that can be a problem with quilts. So let's go to the strap system here. You've got a 2-strap system, and they're elastic. They are adjustable, so you can open these up all the way to the edges of the pad, or you can close it all the way down even more than I have it right here. So you just got a push button there and a push button there, and then that opens it up to like that. Go ahead and open that up for you. And so that's going to be the way that that attaches to your pad. Now these two are the ones that can move in and out. So if you want to move this all the way out to the edge, you've got a edge to edge there to clip it back in, and that'll give you a little more ventilation if it's not as cold of a night. So you can go like that, or if it's really a cold night, pull that all the way closed next to each other, and that's going to be more or less like a sleeping bag to seal that up. And that's the way I like to use these. If it's going to be real cold at night, go ahead and do it just like that, and then button that back up. So before I do that though, I want to show you the strap system that I have found to work best with these quilts. Now the Enigma quilts don't come with two of these straps that loop around the bag. It comes with one like this, and then another one that is just basically, I'll pull this off for you, basically it just attaches this together on the bottom. Of course, you can go ahead and snap those together, both the top and the bottom, so you don't have to even use the pad straps, but I do like to use them. That's one of the benefits of a quilt. You can toss and turn it, and you stay on your pad better with these than a sleeping bag, so it's one of the benefits of a quilt. So what comes with this is just a strap that tightens like that and keeps this together. I've found that I like having both top and bottom attached to the pad, so I ordered a second set of straps and then just used the loop straps on both of them. So then I go ahead and put those together like that, and it really does is the best way that I found to completely seal out drafts, not have any issues that way. So if it's something you're considering or worried about as far as drafts, give this method a try. It worked really well for me. So that is kind of the way the strap system works. And then of course on the Enigma quilts you do have a sewn foot box, so you don't have the zipper there like some of the other Enlightened equipment quilts and others on the market. It just saves a little bit of weight, but I found it, most of the time I'm not worried about that anyways. Like, you can easily kick your feet out here through that gap if you need to, if it's a warmer night. So you can also see here, as far as the baffling, you do have a U-shaped baffle, which is kind of unique to Enlightened equipment. Vertical baffling here on the top, and then horizontal baffling here on the bottom. And you have a good amount of room in this foot box. You can kind of see it's a larger foot box than some out there, so it is really nice that way. It gives you a lot of room. I like the wide model because I like to be able to really open that up and just use it as a blanket if I want to, or tuck it all the way underneath like we have here if it's a situation where it's going to be colder at night and I want to really seal that off. As far as some of the other features here, you've got a shoulder girth here of 58 inches and a foot girth of 42 inches on this wide model. And then as far as the down that you have in this, you've got 11.6 ounces of the 950 fill down, so you got a significant amount of down. That's the reason why you get such good loft out of this bag. So really impressed with this overall. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a stuff stack and show you how small it stuffs down, so when it's time to put it in your backpack, you can see how much space it's going to take. Alright, so here's the Enigma quilt all put in its stuff stack. As you can see, it packs down really small. This isn't a compression sack. I do wish that these came with a compression sack, but they do come with the stuff stack, which is plenty small. But if you have a compression sack, you can really get this thing down to about the size of, say, a cantaloupe or something like that. It really smashes down almost into nothing. I mean, it's the size of a cantaloupe basically. So it takes up almost no room in your pack. The other thing that's cool about the Enlightened equipment quilts here is that you've got a storage bag here. So you've got one of these large bags that allow you to store the quilt all lofted, so you don't have to worry about finding a place to hang it or whatnot. So really like that they include this as well, but I do wish they had a compression sack. So that is the Enlightened equipment Enigma quilt. I'll put a link down in the description to the quilt, as well as that hoodlum I was telling you about that's really awesome. Go check those out. Thanks for watching here today. We'll see you next time.